Yo, what's up guys? Alex here from Elite Football Conditioning, and this video is the do's and do nots of box jumps. So let's get straight into it. Now, number one, for your box jump training. So remember why we're training this. We are training this for explosivity, being able to get off the ground fast, working the stretch shortening cycle, the ability for the hips to flex and then powerfully extend and drive us either in the vertical direction or horizontally. So here are a couple of things that I don't want you to do and a few alternatives for you. Number one, do not do this. I'll show you again. Do not do this. Okay, the reason for that is, remember what I've just said, we want to be able to drop into flexion and then drive through extension as fast as possible, so we're working the stretch shortening cycle. Do this instead. Get tall at the top, drive the hands and the arms back as fast as you can, and then throw them up and drive everything that way. I will show you that again. So do this. Okay, much better than starting from this static position here, which again, you've got no ability to use your body like a whip to generate that force and that speed off the ground. So it's this static hold and more of a strength jump versus the whip-like pop. All right, a little sound effect just for your benefit there. Now, the second thing, don't do this. I don't actually have any idea what that exercise is, all right? Instead, remember, we're training quality. We're training drive, that get up off the floor. You don't want to be getting to the point where your knees are coming up before you've even had the ability to actually fully extend and finish your jump. So rather than trying to land it down here and then stepping off, if the box is so high that you can't actually get up, that's fine. Do this. Dip, but then stand it up at the end. Actually lock out the jump as opposed to landing like Gollum. All right, that's doing nothing for anyone. Stand it all the way up, get the full use of your quads and your legs, finish that leg drive as well on that attack. So if you can, land it straight-legged, which leads me on to probably my biggest pet peeve of all when it comes to not just box jumps, but any type of training. I'm talking circus training. So let's yep, a couple there. That's not dangerous enough yet. Hold on. Let's do two more. Nope, not happy with that. All about danger. Let's make it really risky. That's still not enough. Maybe. All right, so if you are the plate stacker, putting together your little mountain on top of your box, you're asking for trouble. All right, if you're literally doing this just for the purposes of a little bit of attention on social media, Instagram, don't let me get in the way, but don't pretend that this is useful training. Number one, get rid of the damn plates. All right, we don't need them. Let's get them on the floor. All right, if you want to bust your shins open, do it on someone else's time, someone else's watch. Just make sure you've got a mop handy. All right, if you really need to, all right, what you can do, obviously with this, oh, that's like magic, isn't it? Flip the box over. Your other alternative, and realistically, the only way you should even consider actually increasing the height of the box, in my opinion, is if you are able to land your jump straight-legged in the first place. So I showed you an alternative before where you're going to dip. Obviously, you've got the bit of hip flexion to then stand it up. If that's your level at the minute, keep going with that. Keep building with that. You don't need to make the box any higher. Turning it up to about a 30-inch box or a 24-inch box is going to be of no additional benefit other than you're going to have to work faster through the hips to get your feet onto the box. Again, purposes of that, yes, hip flexion and drive. We do want to be fast at that. We do want to be powerful at that. But when we're jumping onto a box, the purpose isn't to see how quick we can do this. It's to see how much force we can actually put into the ground as quickly as possible to get us onto the box. So here is my proposal for you. Do this. All right. Dip, take off, try and land it straight-legged. All right. So realistically, in jump training or box jump training like this, the box is purely there to serve as the purpose of saving that impact on landing. So for example, if I did a similar thing without the box, you can hear the difference between the impact of my feet on the floor versus that. Much softer on the joints, much kinder on the knees. You can get away with doing more repetitions, and overall it's generally going to be more productive for your training session. So we can ditch the pause at the bottom, get rid of that, start using that stretch shortening cycle, that whip-like technique to get off the ground. Make sure you're actually attacking the jump, standing it all the way up, and ultimately finishing that triple extension before you then pull from the hip to get your feet onto the box. And then please, for the love of God, get rid of stacking plates and other meaningless objects on top of your box. If you really need to, if you really have incredible elasticity and power, roll your box over, assuming it is one that is taller, depending on which way up you have it. And if you're really desperate, then you can start to maybe add in one or two things on top as a solid base or a solid platform. Some of the boxes have got Velcro on the sides. You can strap them to each other. Ultimately, you just need to make sure what you are landing on is a solid, stable surface, and you're not going to be landing on top of something that's going to be skidding off all over the place unless you are training for the circus, which, why are you watching me? So hopefully that has been a nice little informative video on what to do, what not to do when it comes to your box jump. So again, be productive, train smart, sack off the stupid, get results. I'll see you again next time. Hey, I nearly forgot.